Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Steve. Welcome back to Atlantis Confirmed. I'm going to take you on a nice little magical mystery tour today, I hope. All right, so let's begin with. I saw this on Twitter today from the Ancient Alternative, who I follow, and Bradshaw Foundation. The oldest known portrait from Dolni Vestornice, this female face carved from mammoth ivory has a twist to her smile. Her left eye appears injured. How many times have I said that? It's from 25,000 to 29,000 years old. Let's take a look. How many times have I said that? Right? At least 90% of my videos, you could look back and I've said that that's part of the template that I'm describing, that the figure has a messed up eye. I even showed you why it could be either eye. It's the I haven't said it. It's the stars between Ophiuchus and Hercules, Rosselhig, and it's binary. They're binary stars, and one is red and one is blue, and that's what's being represented here, and that's why one eye is messed up. I also think it's the origin of positive and negative. Talked about it a million times, and look here, it's being by academia acknowledged. Her left eye appears injured. Very interesting that it's being represented as a female, because here we're looking at Shiva, Kali, the sacred mother goddess, who was based on the plasma deity, who destroyed the world but also began civilization. So, but I mean, I must have talked about that 1,000 times. I mean, it's Ophiuchus. Look, there's the messed up eye. I think it's on the 52,000-year-old Denisovan piece. Look, there's the messed up eye, and there's the normal eye, and it contains the tetragrammaton. I already looked on this one. It doesn't contain the tetragrammaton anywhere, but I have my suspicions about these. I think these are intentional carvings. I think we may be looking at Fibonacci tree, and I have to check it yet, but that's how nerdy about this math I'm getting at this point. I'm recognizing Fibonacci tree patterns on site. It's very surprising for myself. Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to check these out, but I think she may have the Fibonacci tree carved on her face. And I think we're looking at the sacred mother goddess. And it's another version, because I don't think that it's Master Order. It's definitely not Lord Chaos, the other version. But I don't think it's Master Order. So I think we're looking at the duality represented through the eyes, just like the duality of Shiva and Kali. The fertility god is also the destroyer. Okay, so here's the other things that I thought it was. It's the Stonehenge face. There's the messed up eye, and there's the other eye. It's the 500 BC face in the Greece wall. I think it's our Moai face. I think it's our Lascaux cave face. And that's 13,000 BC, I believe, or 30,000. I really got to check that out. And here's Master Order and Lord Chaos, the two versions that we see of it. I've been talking about this for like at least 2 weeks now. There's the messed up eye. And here it is again on the 52,000-year-old Denisovan piece, which, to my knowledge, I'm still the only one who even claims that it's a face yet in all of academia or alternative history research. Even though I think I've even found the tetragrammaton, and I'm still going to go to bat for this for the horseshoe bend. I think they were micro carvers, and I think they were macro carvers. There's the messed up eye, and again, I think it's the origin of positive and negative as well. I think I'm right. You know, it's when you're right, the evidence comes easier because it's actually what happened. You know, you're not manufacturing. You're not trying to jam a square peg into a round hole. Any of you who have been following my work at all know I've talked about the duality of the eyes like a gazillion times. And there it is. I think there's a lot more going on here too, but I have to take a better look. But that just blew my mind right away. I was like, I'm right. Okay, here we go. So, unfortunately, here's something else I'm right about because I'm not going to go too much into detail about it, but the Popol Vuh, which I believe is the most correct version of human history that I've read so far, states that the second people were the stick people, and I believe those were the megalith builders. And the Popol Vuh states that they abused their dogs and they were destroyed in the cataclysm and their dogs attacked them. And I have found all this. This is from the Popol Vuh, the dog eating the stick person. This is various cave art I've found all over the world. Various, and I'm not going to zoom in on anything. You can go watch the older videos of prehistoric accounts of dog abuse. What can I say? And it's very strange to find it being done by Cocopellis, and there's the Graham Hancock man bags. But just a quick side note. Remember this one I showed you the other day, where it was a new one, and it's Cocopellis also. And a lot of people are saying, well, maybe it looks like a happy scene, looks like a figure jumping through. And listen, I much rather would go with that. Unfortunately, that looks like a dog, and that looks like a dog. That these two definitely aren't people running through here. And if that's being represented here, I don't know if this is a misrepresentation of what they saw here. It was a person, and they misrepresented it as a dog and said, oh, they're doing it with a dog, and then threw it. There's lots of ways you could interpret it, but it's there's the Hancock man bags, and these where's the one? Oh, this one. Okay, so this one, I was like, are these their arms, or do they have an arm in the hand and they're holding a stick? And I think I found out what this is, and this is from a completely different place, but I think it's the headgear. I think it's the cone head. It's not. They're not balancing something on their head. It is their head. And perhaps the sticks being represented here are boomerangs, and they just didn't draw them that well because it appears they have the same head thing. And see the hair? This one also has the braids. And I also thought to myself, is this, are these the sticks that made them the stick people? Because they carried these boomerangs. Because these obviously aren't boomerang shaped, and these aren't boomerang shaped, but they're too short to be walking sticks. They're too short to be spears. They wouldn't hold arrows that way. What else could they be? And then I remembered the occult stuff. This is from the tarot cards, Six of Wands. You'll notice it's the Celts. This supposed to be with the all women with the sacred feminine symbol, like I turned into the sigil of Lucifer because the Catholic Church demonized sacred femininity. Okay, so but look at their staffs. The Druidic staff is very similar. Sorry, should have had that one. To the size. And I was wondering, did it refer to... Oh, look, I'm Herbity. And so... Hi, we're back. And so it made me wonder, are we looking at the stick people? Were the sticks wands? And then were the wands ceremonial? Did they do something? Was that part of the lost tech? Is that what they're doing with he's using the wand from, Harry Potter to make the dog fly around a little bit, much to the delight of everyone. I don't know. It's just fun to speculate there, and that's the only other thing that it looks like, because it doesn't. These don't have sticks at all. These just look like they're something going on, but I believe that now. I wondered before if that was balancing something on their head, but no, I think it's the actual headgear. But these sticks, the sticks from the stick people, they're too short to be walking sticks. They're too short to be spears. I guess they could be clubs, but they don't really look clubbish. They look like wands. So perhaps the stick people were wearing wands, but we're using wands. So here's the other thing I wanted to point out. So yeah, I found that. There was another one with a Cocopelli, and there's always this like shadowy figure going on, and he or she has the Cocopelli hair as well. Another shadowy figure down here, and I kept saying to myself, we're getting closer and closer to something in between this and the Three Witches. And I said, is this what I'm? Because this is from New Zealand. We see this as well, and you'll see it's got variations. At some points, three people, and at some points it's two people. And I'm wondering, is this tied together? Is this what we're looking at? Is a fluctuation, because this is the character for dog, and it looks very plasma deity-ish and Squatterman-ish and whatever you want to call it. And he appears to be holding a stick or holding a wand. I mean, that's how I interpret it. We're looking at why is that dog, and it looks like the stick person holding his wand. These are the other interpretations of it. I think they turned it into that. Where the only reason why I show it is because it's very peculiar that you find this in so many different places, and the strange thing about it is the position, plus they're drinking something out of and this is also the same pattern as that. So you'll see that could be interpreted as the straw going down. So I think we're looking at interpretations of the same image. And then I found this on the Lascaux cave ceiling, and it looks like our best version yet. It looks really spooky too. It's almost like space ghosts flying across the sky. I think it's the plasma deity. I think this is what they saw, and this is interpretations of. Remember, it's always in flux. It's not a static thing. It's like watching a plasma ball in the sky that, unfortunately, fortunately had a humanoid shape to it, because it was because of that particular Velikovsky plasma configuration, David Talbot plasma configuration. All right, so that's that section. I think all of that weirdness is depictions of what is misinterpretations of what they saw in the sky, and then misinterpretations of misinterpretations. The image is carried down. It gets turned into this. It gets turned into that. But it was really all tied back to the plasma deity, something that they saw up there in the sky. So I do not think that they were actually abusing their dogs. I think that they were representing this image from the plasma deity, and it got misrepresented. Or again, we are looking at, since I consider them that they were monotheistic and venerated the Chai and the secret name of God, the Tetragrammaton, that makes them the Proto-Judaic faith. And that would make that the first example of anti-Semitism. Okay, so I haven't been accused of pareidolia in the last 12 hours probably, so let's give some people some reason to complain. Somebody sent this to me. The throne room at the heart of the Bronze Age palace of Knossos is considered the oldest room in Europe, Crete, about 3,500 to 4,000 years old. And they said, I think I see something down there. And I fiddled around with it, and something started to pop out. Let me see if I can match them up. Sorry, I should have had this ready to go. And I did this, I worked on this before I got that that other one, where the new piece that's confirmed by academia, 26,000 years old, and has the messed up eye. There's an eye, there's an eye. I'm going to line these up perfect, don't worry. I don't know why it's being so slow. There we go. Flash warning. Master Order and Lord Chaos at the bottom of the throne. They don't know if this was necessarily a throne or if this was a judge. And if it was, if it was a judge, I'm even more right because, of course, a judge is residing over order and chaos. And look, it's got the same weird eye as the literal one that's drawn by Stan Lieber and Jack Kirby. And I even made these eyes differently before I saw that academia post. Okay? All right. So everybody has fuel to say I'm nuts and seeing things for another week. All right. This is the Fibonacci tree. Sorry, I have to go back into the math. I like going more into the math because it's harder for people to say I'm seeing things when it's math-based. So this is the Fibonacci tree. I discovered the Fitzgerald inverse, whereupon if you take the Fibonacci tree to a certain number and you invert it, it creates a mirror and a vortex right there, a literal 0 point out of its binary code. I should have put the one up before the crisscrosses. And then if you crisscross each one to its corresponding 13 and 13, etc., it gives you a dodecahedron and a 0 point, a toroidal vortex math, where I also found it on the Sphinx, that the Sphinx is based on a Fibonacci tree that stops right at that same point. And if you invert that same point, it gives you the 0 point right there from its binary code that it becomes, which I believe is represented on the Sphinx. It also will give you the shape of refraction, which I also believe is on the Sphinx. I also discovered the Fibonacci pattern as Quetzalcoatl in Mesoamerica is a Fibonacci expression. This is from the Popol Vuh. Their dog is a Fibonacci tree expression. This is from the Göbekli Tepe, and this is from Algeria. It's Taurus, which is also made. This is Pillar 43, which is also an expression of Fibonacci. Fibonacci, I'll remind you, when plotted out, is sacred geometry. It is the geometry of creation, matter, all things in the universe. I mean, I even showed yesterday the torsion fields, how they energy patterns, magnetosphere, are all based as well. Basically, everything in creation, from whipping it out of the water, weather patterns, the famous what is it? The pineal gland, acorn, or whatever, pine cone. A baby. Here's all the multitude more things that it is. It's just everything. Your fingerprints. That's why it's called sacred geometry. It's the geometry of creation. So here's someone else. When a thought is born, the shape of the mind and its functions match the fetal position of a baby in the womb. So here's someone. This is someone who's put all this together. That your brain is the same shape as a fetus, and the way the brain works, the way the thought patterns go through the brain is the same as how it goes through a baby. This is the head. This is where it begins right here, the frontal lobe. So the neuron maps also match the neuron maps on the child. So if then that your thoughts are shaped, the way your brain works your thoughts or processes your thoughts is the same shape as an embryo, and we know that embryos follow the Fibonacci spiral. There we come back to phi. This is everything. this should be hung around our necks with, well, this essentially is. But this should be the religious symbol of all of us. This is nature. What this is saying essentially is that even our thoughts are if our thoughts are the same pattern as an embryo, and an embryo is the Fibonacci pattern, then our thoughts are coming from Phi, the other world, the netherworld, the Akashic record, the dream world, the hereafter, the karma, whatever you want to call it. And so here's something extra. So here's the Sphinx, and where I believe that it's made of the Fibonacci pattern. Thus, as I showed you up here, if he is a Fibonacci tree and it's inverse, then he should have the dodecahedron right there. And I think I do see the dodecahedron there. But, you know, it's a hidden image, thousands of years of erosion, and their artists were called magicians. That it had to be more than one thing. And whereas I think there is a dodecahedron in the center there, I think they've made a compound dodecahedron. And here's where I'm going to get a lot of pareidolia. You know, so be it. But I'll show you why I think, you know, we're coming back to Phi here. And so what I think I see here is essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, because you really can't fit there. And then something in the space here. Now, I couldn't really make it out. I was thinking perhaps it's 9 dodecahedron. I've been studying the dodecahedrons, and if you apparently there's only a certain number. It's really hard to find information about this stuff. There's only a certain number of dodecahedrons that can form a ring pattern, just because of the geometry of it. As it turns out, and this is from you can Google it. As it turns out, 8 icosahedra form this rhombic ring. Measured from the center of these icosahedra, okay, because that's the only rhombus which can be made, which can make this a rhombic. Okay, this is above my pay grade, but apparently 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is one of the only numbers that you can join up dodecahedron like that. And icosahedra is the complex dodecahedron. Okay, so I want you to pay very close attention at what you get in the center, because remember I was saying up here I think I saw like 8. I tried to make a 9th one in there, but it really didn't work out. And again, you know, that's just what's occurring to me. I don't expect my shape here to be perfect, but I think that's ultimately what they were representing. And I think it was that it's the 8 dodecahedron making the shape, because look again at what this makes in the center. It's Phi. And not only is it Phi, but look what it's doing at the top here and at the bottom here. See how it's a triangle this way, and then it's an equal triangle the other way. It's refraction. It's showing when you put 8 together, as I suspected was going on here, the actual image that is inside here is the Phi. And it's not only Phi, but it's also showing Phi with refraction. I'll show it one more time. So here's, and I wish I had this more lined up, sorry. And I'm missing a photo I wanted to, oh, here we go. All right, so this is on the pyramid, the Great Pyramid. and I always got to remember not to bring this up because I think you could see it better when it's smaller. I see a dodecahedron right here. I see a face and everything. This is, I should have had the other guy. I should have had this one lined up. If you followed my work, you know what I'm talking about. That I have found this image on the pyramid here. See, you can sort of see where the stick figure there. But I'll zoom in. You see this guy, and he's look like he's going like that, and he's got one eye and one eye messed up. I'll slowly. There you go. But it's a dodecahedron that's been turned into a face. And I think those dodecahedrons go all the way around. And I think that's what we're looking at. And if you can't see the dodecahedron right there, then they need to take me to the nut house right now. And you guys should just unsubscribe, because that's pretty much the end of the story as far as I'm concerned. As far as, on this journey, I never thought that I would come to the point where I feel like according to the ancients, I know what they've thought was the meaning of life and what was representation of the fabric of the universe, and what that meant with their afterlife, and where they saw that in the stars, and how they explained it all mathematically and through physics and geometry and architecture. I think that's a book. So I see a dodecahedron right there, and it's something that I catch a glimpse of. You got to remember, these are hidden symbols that have thousands of years of erosion, and I think they've also been vandalized. So let's get back to, there's the Sphinx. I think it's got a complex compound dodecahedron on there, and it's got something to do with this, where I was seeing. I was trying to work 9, but it wasn't fitting. I think it's 8, and this can. I don't think that another dodecahedron fits in the center there, but what that does make is phi. It makes the phi symbol, and it makes the phi symbol with refraction that we also see in the Fibonacci tree and the Fitzgerald inverse, which I also think is represented in the pyramid layout, where the pharaoh becomes transmuted to the next dimension, like the miracle of refraction. And this inside here gives us this. This is what we're looking at inside here. This is the compound dodecahedron. This is the ether. The ancients believed there were 5 elements: earth, fire, air, water, and the ether. This is the static most basic building block of the universe, is the compound dodecahedron. And I think that's what they're going for, because it gives you phi with refraction seen again. It's all together. And if you look straight down the middle, that's what you see. This is what you see when you die. This is the tunnel. And there you go to the other side, where all your old pets are waiting for you at the Rainbow Bridge. All right, so I want to just say really, thanks to everybody who has been supportive and engaging, and I think YouTube has finally let me out of my suspension or whatever it is. When I think it's over, it's because I said that Proto-Judaism is from, I believe, from our Neanderthal cousins, and I think that's taken totally the wrong way. I mean that in a way that they started everything. I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that as I think I'm showing historical proof, but I can see someone looking in how that would seem like an insult. And I'm sure that there's so much genuine crap of anti-Semitism out there that they just sort of, they don't take any chances. So I really been hit with a lot of hate mail lately, and it's probably the reason why I delayed putting up a proper vid for a couple of days. But I got to reading these quotes by Einstein, and I just want to go through a few for you, and it really turned me around. And here we go. If you want to live a happy life, tied to a goal, not to people or things. And that's true. It's like my happiness is tied to getting this information out there. It isn't tied to if, you know, the squad that likes to go after me every day has to say about it. So anyway, and to all of the other alternative researchers who gave me the cold shoulder, because I am thankful to all who said no to me, and it's because of them that I'm doing it myself. Thank you, Albert Einstein. What is right is not always popular, and what is popular is not always right. Albert Einstein. A ship is always safe at a shore, but that is not what it's built for. Albert Einstein. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. I haven't forgotten the gift, Albie. The important thing is to not stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Albert Einstein. We cannot despair of humanity since we ourselves are human beings. And I thought that was really lovely. Yes, I shall soldier on despite the the vitriol that gets thrown, the outrageous slings and arrows, as Shakespeare called them. Okay, so the last thing I want to leave you with is a reminder that
from the invisible comes the visible. Visibilia ex invisibilibus.
There's no scandalous. Invisible scandal. Electricity